Hello and welcome to the second installment of this version of Cursed Content Fight Club. I am your host, Mr. Feel. With me as always are masters of the Lin Kuei, Dan and Bob video games from GigaBoots.com.
I was gonna make a reference to Celebrity Deathmatch, but I don't think anyone remembers that anymore. It slipped entirely out of public consciousness.
It'll come back in 2 or 3 years.
You made me watch it.
Those episodes could have been worse.
Yeah, no, surprisingly, it was even 10% funny. That's way higher than I expected.
And Quan Chi Excellent from KinoRawGoatswag.com.
Hooray!
Wooly!
Last time we watched Mortal Kombat Annihilation, the sequel to the very first Mortal Kombat movie. Let's stick to purely factual statements about that film.
True. People talked.
And now we're putting it... Listen, we're putting it up against the new Mortal Kombat movie, the 2021 Mortal Kombat movie. We gave this thing as much of a rigged competition as it could hope for. God, it better win.
Yeah, the other movie we watched literally isn't complete. So if we can't beat that, I'm really scared.
However, it has the most insane buff of all. A 90s movie. But even better, a bad 90s movie. That's a super buff for me.
If you were less movie-shaped than Mortal Kombat Annihilation, you wouldn't even have a shape.
I watched the opening scene again today and started crying.
That's fair.
Yeah, I assume this will be much more movie shaped, but a lot more boring, and that's what's scary.
That's genuinely the biggest threat to us right now, gentlemen.
Yeah.
I'm terrified.
It's an hour and a half of Sub-Zero learning how to put his mask on, and then he does it, and there's 20 minutes of fight scene, maybe.
Quan Chi is the idiot version of Thanos for this movie.
Ooh.
Man, I'm scared that there just won't be anyone cool in this movie. You know, like Sub-Zero and Scorpion are cool, but like it'll be like, no, there's no Quan Chi or Shang Tsung or Shao Kahn or anybody cool at all.
We don't have any good villains like Raiden.
And this is how you know between recordings we played through Mortal Kombat 9.
Okay, we have to get our predictions out here right now. It's important.
Mm-hmm.
Will this movie say Raiden or Raiden? Because they're really pushing how many Asian actors they have in this. The PR material.
I'm gonna say it's Raiden.
Bob?
Yeah, I feel like they have to stick with Raiden just because the games have.
KZ?
Raiden.
I think they're gonna say Raiden.
Okay, we're perfectly split. Half of us will win. The others will perish.
Or Raiden will not be mentioned.
Bob, how excited are you? This movie is so hyped up. One of the actors said they signed on for 4 more of them.
That's
ooh! I have another prediction we have to get right now because there's a rare thing. How many of us? You have to give 0 to 4. Will fucking hate that original character it has.
I'm gonna say 3. I'm gonna say 3 of us will hate that original character it has.
Bob.
I'm gonna say all 4.
KC.
Oh, no. All 4.
I'm also gonna say all 4.
It's gonna be fucking Denzel from Advent Children complete.
Oh no, he couldn't possibly be that bad.
Okay, well if he isn't, then it's a win.
Yeah, maybe they'll be great.
He hits a fire hydrant and kills Scorpion.
None of us know anything about this movie, so we can't really talk about it anymore. I guess we better just go watch it.
That's a good point, Mr. Field. If they want to watch it with us, how can they do that?
Ah, yes. They can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcast, a thing I forgot to mention because I'm an idiot who doesn't like money, apparently. For as little as $5 a month, you get access to the commentary track for this movie, as well as many other benefits, such as early access to Chugging Bleach and Mondo Cool, our 2 anime review podcasts, Cursed Content by Committee, this show, except it's not up against another movie, you get to vote on it, and you also get a commentary track, and extended armchair dev pitches where we discuss what would be a normal video game before we decided to be violent. That's patreon.com/GB podcast.
Well, gentlemen, let's get to the movie and finish him.
And have a Winston break. We're back. Mortal Kombat 2021 is a movie that starts off only okay to trick you, at which point it becomes actually really good. Watch none of your favorite Mortal Kombat characters in this new movie, which seems to be the prequel to a movie a sane person would make. So Dan, what did you think of Mortal Kombat 2021?
Mortal Kombat 2021 is legitimately not cursed. It's an enjoyable movie. There's befuddling decisions in numerous places, and the editing is not the most cohesive or smooth, but it's a pretty enjoyable movie. There's a chunk there where it gets a little insane plot-wise, where it's just like, hide in this cave with me. But, you know, I thought it was a really enjoyable film. Since we here on Cursed Content use a -5 to 5, I'm going to say this is a 5, legitimately. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Bob?
Yeah, it's a competent action film with some rough choreography for a lot of the fight scenes, but still enjoyable and still really silly. Which it's Mortal Kombat. If you're not goofy, then why are you making a Mortal Kombat movie?
Right.
So yeah, it's not cursed. I'll go ahead and give it the 5. Give it the chance to get out of the cursed content.
KZ.
This was delightful. I had a blast watching this. I did not expect the slow ramp-up part of the film to be nearly as entertaining, but you just so happen to cast the greatest Kano I've ever seen. And the action choreography was all right enough. There's some cool stuff they did in that. I want a sequel to this so goddamn bad. I'm giving it a 5.
Yeah, I'm also going to give this a 5. It has some, questionable decisions, and like Dan said, the editing's pretty rough, but it's like, you could do so much worse.
You could.
This is this is in the top 10% of Mortal Kombat movies they could ever potentially make.
But will it beat Annihilation?
Mysteries.
Gee, I wonder. Let's find out after we get through our segments. Dan, who's your favorite character?
Oh, fuck. Kano legitimately is the best character in the movie. He's such a total piece of shit. What a piece of human garbage. This is the most piece of shit he's ever been.
They really did good with Kano.
A fucking grand slam for pieces of shit everywhere.
Yes.
I don't even know what else to say about the man. He's got that amazing I've been living on your couch for a week energy. There's something about him where every scene he's in, he's the highlight. He's constantly just being the loudest piece of crap in the room. He's the funniest character. He even gets his Arcana by being a piece of shit.
Yep. The Arcana being a weird concept that the movie seemed to make up, where you like a mutant awakening your powers, you wake up your Mortal Kombat powers, which can even be a cyborg guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or your metal arms.
Yeah,
yes, I agree, Dan. Kano is absolutely the person who'd asked to crash on your couch, and then a week later, he looks exactly the same when you leave and come back from work.
Yeah. God.
Bob, who's your favorite character?
Let's see. I'm gonna give it to Kung Lao. Kung Lao did some really good stuff in this movie.
He did.
He pulled off fatality. He did the teleport. He was a jerk to Kano.
Yep.
Mostly positive stuff around Kung Lao.
Yeah, there wasn't like a thing he did where I'm like, oh, that was lame. No, it was all pretty cool.
Yeah. Like to see my guy actually get a win.
Yes.
Please.
He really needs some win.
Yes.
And then he's like, yeah, I'm the best. And then someone goes and stabs his neck from behind. Oh,
God.
While a god watches and does nothing.
Yeah.
Doesn't even say look out.
Can't interfere.
Casey, who's your favorite character?
I guess at this point I would pick Cabal.
Cabal's pretty good.
He had a similar energy to Kano, where he just kind of just starts talking, and I'm like, yeah, you're cool. They picked his MK11 design, and it worked out really well here, especially like the effects going on with it. He just had this really good sarcastic, like, asshole, you took my cannoli attitude throughout the whole film. That despite him not being in too much, I really enjoyed him.
Yeah, his Power Ranger effects were really fun with the teleport, with the super speed.
Yeah, they were good. I'm gonna go with Scorpion, just because he's such a badass when he gets to fight.
It's so fucking cool.
Yeah, I'll be really disappointed if he doesn't come back for no reason.
There was literally a scene at the end where Shang Tsung says, "It doesn't matter if people die. This is Mortal Kombat."
Yeah,
Have you played these games?
Anytime anyone died, I'm like, whatever. Have they seen the fucking PS2 games with zombie Liu Kang?
God.
Well, with that, we got to get to our least favorite character, Bob. You can start us off.
It's Raiden. We don't need that.
Of course. If we could all pick Raiden, would we not all pick Raiden?
I would pick Raiden.
You need to understand, audience. We watched this film. Check out that commentary track. The opening scene, awful things happen. Bob's like, this is where Raiden comes in. And then Raiden appeared.
He's such a piece of garbage.
Yes.
He just appears and does nothing.
All the time.
And it's like, that's not bad writing. That's the character.
Every story he told was like, yeah, then I screwed up, but I'll kind of glaze over that.
At one point, Jax asks him, "Hey man, how come you fuck up at everything and never actually help?" And he just kind of shrugs. You know, like, rules of Mortal Kombat. I gotta go.
Yes.
I gotta go. I got a big battery in my house.
See, this is part of why I think Raiden absolutely needs to be a giant white guy voiced by Richard Deppard, because who else could fuck up this much? The Raiden in this looks like he could potentially be competent, but no.
But actually,
sadly not.
no.
God,
Yeah.
of course not.
He just leaves in between cuts.
Also, his glowing eyes is the worst special effect in the movie.
100%.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the M83 music video way too much. It just looks so rough.
Now, Dan, with the understanding that everybody hates Raiden the most, who after Raiden?
Yes, by the rules of Curse Content Fight Club, Bob has disqualified Raiden by choosing him first, and as such, I'm gonna have to choose Sonya Blade. I wish she was better.
Yeah, she's kind of nothing.
Yeah, she
I
doesn't
like
have
the
a-
part where Kano just goes, you don't matter.
Yes, and he's right. He's right to say that.
It also kind of sucks that she spared Kano for basically no reason, which got tons of people killed.
Yeah.
Like, come on, there was no reason for her to spare Kano.
Other than for us to get more enjoyable Kano scenes.
Yeah, that's true.
So it would have ruined the movie for us. So I don't know. There were heroes on both sides.
Are they?
Uh-oh. I think he's debunking you here, Bob. Look out.
I don't want to think about this. Which side is Raiden on?
I'm gonna go with Cole.
He does suck.
He sucks. He's pretty lame. Like, they try to give him a character arc, which is not what you want in Mortal Kombat. Like, he doesn't even have a great character arc. It's like the most generic, he's beginning to believe type character arc possible. And also his power is just to be able to survive getting owned over and over again.
It looked like they were going with the thing of he takes damage and is able to reroute it to his hits, but then they kind of stopped showing that, so I don't think it's actually a thing.
They showed it once, so I don't think it's that at all.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he's like that one dude in various media that does this.
What? So it'd be like he gets punched and then fucking unleashes that energy?
Yeah, it seemed like it was doing that since the punches landing on him glowed. And then he would do a move afterward, yeah.
Yeah, he's just Black Panther.
Oh, does Black Panther do that? Because I was thinking that guy from Kill la Kill, and then I'm pretty sure the guy in My Hero, and like it's a very common anime ability.
Comes up a shitload for sure.
It's a pretty big power.
But yeah, Black Panther, it's like he takes hits and his shit glows, and then he just does shockwaves.
And yeah, I like in the fact that he has like I want to show my face syndrome because he doesn't, despite being like Scorpion's descendant, he doesn't get like a mask or anything, which feels like something the actor wanted almost.
Maybe we'll get the mask in the next movie.
I think it's to endear the audience to him.
Yeah, like
because audiences.
His thing should really have a helmet because everyone just hits him in the chest even though his head's exposed.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I came away from that movie thinking his wife is a way bigger badass than him. Goro was working him, and she's like, "I'm gonna get this fucking axe and take it to Goro's spine."
Yes. And then runs away to get into a truck to run over Goro.
Yeah. KZ, who's your least favorite?
At the end of the movie, it came up again. That dude who works at the fighting gym. Because Bob once again also pointed out in the commentary, looks like Walter Day, formerly of Twin Galaxies.
Oof.
And it fucks me up. It's so rough. I liked most other characters besides Raiden. So there weren't many good picks for me here.
That's a shame. It's time to go to the favorite scene. I'm going to start us off. Kung Lao does a fatality to Nitara. It's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
And you may go, wait a minute, Nitara? The one from Mortal Kombat 5?
Yeah, they
Deadly
bring in characters
Alliance.
from the PS2 games, and then immediately everybody's like, they are here to die.
She appears in the scene. She's established earlier, but she appears in this scene and within 15 seconds is killed.
This movie gets really gory in the second half. Like, I was kind of worried because the start is, it has like CG blood effects as people are getting cut, but then in the second half it's just like, nah, here's some like MK9 fatalities. I'm like, good. This is what I want.
That's what they were bragging about. They're like, we made it R so we can do fatalities, and I'm like, all right, we'll see. And then I'm like, oh yeah.
KZ, what's your favorite scene?
Honestly, my favorite scene, just from sheer shock, is when Liu Kang and Kung Lao start roasting Kano at dinner so hard and making him so angry, he develops a laser cyber eye and it shoots out. And that might be the most genuine shock and hilarious moment I've seen in a film in 10 years.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good indeed.
I'm just imagining being in a theater, people losing their fucking minds.
This would have been a fun movie to see in the theater. Sadly, we live in a broken world. Maybe the sequel.
Right.
Yeah, it's tragic. But I was between that and how Kano takes out Reptile.
God, he just... let's leave in case somebody else wants it. Bob, what's the best scene?
This is tough. There's actually a lot of fun scenes in this.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the Liu Kang scene where he summons the fire dragon to kill Cabal.
God,
That was so good. I didn't know.
He shoots
I didn't expect
fire
that
into
at
the
all.
tar pit.
Yeah, no, he's like, okay, they knocked him into a tar pit. He's just gonna light it on fire and then he's gonna die. No, it's a fire dragon.
Like, I expected it to burn him and be really cool, but the fire dragon was a whole nother level. Dan.
I would be honest, it's a fucking scene with Kano and Reptile.
Yeah, that's fair.
That was really good. It was like, okay, these two are going to solve the problem. No, Kano's here to solve the problem.
And the start of the sequence is really good, where they're like throwing things because the Reptile can cloak, and she throws Sonya throws a knife into Kano's leg.
throws a fucking knife into Kano's leg and he just screams, and it's the funniest shit.
And
It's
he
really
goes-
funny.
And then he goes, "This is my own knife."
He goes, "Where the fuck are you looking? This is mine anyways."
Also, for context, for people who aren't going to watch the film or our commentary track, he's tied to the chair.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's tied to a chair.
It's not like an accident where he was running past. No, he was stuck. A stationary object. But God, he just fucking pulled out his fucking heart.
Can we all give runner up? Can we all give runner up to Kano's death, where he spits on a garden gnome near the start of the movie, and then Sonya Blade shoves that garden gnome through his eye later?
That was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
Ugh.
Oh, God, when Sonya just one-shot somebody, that was also pretty good because it was so unexpected. Like,
Yeah,
it's
it's just like a death ray.
yeah, it's like Coles has to fight her. It's just like, no, Cole stinks. To have Sonya show up and immediately win.
But now sadly we have to go to worst scene. So KZ, what was the worst scene?
I'll pick an easy one. That opening Cole fight in the MMA arena. That was the part where I'm like, I hope that this is the only chunk of this we ever get.
Yeah.
Which thankfully it was.
Right.
Where it's just like,
Yeah.
establish him and move on to cool stuff, or at least video game characters where they're like, he's a fighter. Watch him get fucked up. I just don't really find MMA fighting interesting at all as is.
All he can do is punch.
He can't even do that. He just takes punches.
Yeah. Fighting is offense and defense.
Maybe some wristband my family made for me will turn into super armor so I don't have to defend.
I sure hope so.
Not my head, though. I'm gonna pick the first half of the Goro fight.
The TMNT2 part?
Everything up until the axe to the spine. Where Cole's just getting owned. He runs into the barn. He tries to hit Goro with a crowbar. He like knocks over the supports for the barn so it'll fall on Goro, which we were really scared was going to be how he defeats Goro.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was legitimately concerning.
The only part that I'm like, it's going to be okay is because I remember the trailer shot of him jumping in the air. And I'm like, he didn't do that yet. He did not jump in slow motion.
But that was the scene I liked the least. Dan.
You know, I think KZ took the worst one legitimately.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not an abundance of terrible scenes in this. There was very few where I'm like, let me move on with it.
It was the one time we were silent for most of it.
Yeah, they were really good about quickly getting to the video game stuff that's fun.
Sometimes with cuts that made no sense.
Yeah.
Whatever, man. Whatever. Make a stupid movie, but you also don't need to make it 3 hours.
Good, you got the point. She's walking, so they're there. Jesus, movie, she's been walking for frames.
Okay, jump out of the airplane, falling for 2 frames. Now they're walking on the ground.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, imagine you're standing in the middle of a room, audience, and what you assume the actor for Jax is there, and gets knocked down, I would say, straight and to the left. And then in between a cut, he is now to your far right somehow standing.
Yeah, I don't. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say, man, there's a couple scenes that are like not too terrible. I'm gonna go ahead and say the part where they're driving away to escape Sub-Zero. Jax gets out of the car, grabs a gun, and then goes, "You keep driving away. I will now fight Sub-Zero with this gun by myself. Hope this goes well. Bye."
Yeah.
It's like
And then Sub-Zero leaves.
Yeah, Sub-Zero leaves, but Jax is like, well, I'm going to get him with my Super Scope, with my Super Nintendo Super Scope.
Yeah, there's a real energy there where I was like, if most of the movie's like this, I'm gonna hate it. And luckily, none of the rest of the movie is that stupid.
I was scared that like we were gonna get something that tried to go light on the video game shit, and then they're sort of like, no, bro, it's all video game shit from here on out.
Yeah, you didn't know, but you were 3 minutes away from Kano.
Right? Yeah. So that was the next most concerning scene. KZ's was the most. That was the second most.
And all of that's like the first is about 10, maybe 15 minutes after the intro sequence.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of it's kind of gravy. Mostly because they just wanted to keep selling Sub-Zero.
Yeah. KZ.
Gotta
I'm not KZ. KZ already went, what the fuck's wrong with me? Bob, you get to finish this off. What's the scene you liked the least? Less good is acceptable in this case because
it could be right.
Officially uncursed.
Yeah, it's hard to pick something out now. There's got to be some point where Raiden was his absolute worst.
When he just fucking slammed the ground and suddenly they have a super battery barrier.
That was kind of bad. It made for some fun stuff, but that was a scene that was a little concerning when it's like Shang Tsung and his army shows up. And then Raiden's like, well, Elder God, something. Oh, well, I guess I'll just put up a shield because I don't want to actually do anything.
You could also say the scene with the Goro statue because it looked really bad.
Yes, the Goro statue looked incredibly bad. Yeah, Outworld, for some reason, when they cut to it, half the time they have a cool thing they've made that looks neat, or a thing that's in CG and looks neat, and the other half it's a desert field they've edited poorly a Goro statue into. It's really bad.
Yes. Goro looked surprisingly fine.
Yeah, Goro was a pretty good Goro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for a CG Goro, that's as best as I could hope for, honestly. We're not getting classic like
stop motion Goro. They didn't have the fucking money for that.
No.
Yeah, surprisingly decent Goro for a film that was on like 50 mil.
Well, now that we're done with all the segments, I guess we have to decide which wins. I wonder what the answer to this question is going to be. KZ, which wins, Mortal Kombat 2021 or Mortal Kombat Annihilation?
Now, as I told people, I rewatched the opening scene of Annihilation today and started crying. and while I love 90s things, especially bad 90s things, to a fault that I will buff them, and sometimes in my brain go, that's a 9 out of 10, despite it not being a 9 or a 5. I'm going to have to give it to this film. I think this movie was great. I could see myself months from now going back to it, or in other cases, buying the Blu-ray.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bob, what's your choice? Who wins?
The only thing that Annihilation has on this movie, really great techno. Like, the soundtrack for Annihilation's good. This one, nah. But otherwise, this movie definitely wins. It has a few moments with the soundtrack where it kicks in the theme. And
I didn't expect them to use the theme at all, honestly.
Yeah, I was worried they wouldn't. I was scared that they would be afraid of it.
Like Mulan.
God. I think this movie definitely would have been even higher if it had just had the full-on Mortal Kombat song during the series of fights at the end.
Yes.
Maybe they do that for a sequel where it's an actual tournament and not this thing that takes place before the tournament.
Where Raiden warps them to tournament locations from Mortal Kombat, luckily.
That was so good. That was one of the best parts of this, where it's just like, yeah, I'm just going to teleport you to levels from Mortal Kombat.
They're like, here's the plan. We need you to take out you and you and you. And they're like, wow, you're going to take out every single bad guy in a 7-minute set piece.
Right.
Good.
And they're like, okay, sure. You want to get this done fast so you can get to the Sub-Zero final battle.
Now I'm remembering what's actually the worst scene for me.
Okay.
After the ones you guys picked.
Do it.
When Cole acts like he's their leader and telling them who they should fight and giving them advice.
That is really bad.
Yeah.
Most unearned scene in the whole movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely.
I really hope they just make Johnny Cage the protagonist of the sequel and have Cole be like the new just start calling him Scorpion.
What an incredible fucking, what do you do to set up your next film? Where you going? Hollywood.
Poster for Citizen Cage with Johnny Cage's giant cage belt buckle.
I love that they also didn't show the guy's face. And I was like, that's That's amazing.
I really hope this does well. I want this second movie.
Yeah, I want a second movie
Get
too.
the Miz. Get the Miz. Get the Miz.
God, I need to look at the Miz because I can't remember what he looks like.
I want this, and then I want the second film to end teasing Shao Kahn, and it's John Cena.
See, I was going to say
God.
Batista.
I mean, shit, man, if it's doing well enough, get The Rock.
That's what I was. That was the next one I was going to go to.
Jesus.
And then that will be the MK movie to make $1 billion.
Exactly.
It would.
Right?
Once you put The Rock into a movie, your movie will just make money. I'd also accept Vin Diesel Shao Kahn.
I've already decided
he
that
has
Vin
the
Diesel
voice.
will be Onaga in the 5th film.
Oh my God.
Or just make him Quan Chi, so it's Quan Chi's ripped as shit.
Yeah, we need a really good Quan Chi for
Yeah,
these
we do.
movies.
I like how I told someone, nah, Quan Chi will be Jared Leto.
By the way, Liu Kang in this, skinny but ripped as shit. The most
Oh, that
ripped
was
person
fucked
I have
up.
ever seen.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
they got a skinny Liu Kang. I guess I can, and then he flexed, and I was like, Jesus.
Right, when he takes his shirt off, it's like, okay, that's Liu Kang.
I have never seen a more defined upper body in my life.
My nut fell out.
Jesus.
Dan, which wins? We were in the middle of deciding which wins before we gushed about one of the candidates for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to the new one. The new one's a legitimately great film. I never thought I would come out of this going, man, they need to make a fucking sequel. I'm ready. That's nuts. They did a really good job.
The new one wins.
Yeah.
Like, it's exactly what I wasn't sure if it was going to be what I wanted until the moment Kung Lao did the hat teleport. Where I'm like,
Yes.
people have kind of had magic powers, but I want them to really have magic power.
The fact that just Kano meets characters and gets hit by their special attack.
Yeah, that's
He just walks into Liu Kang, is set on fire. He walks up to Raiden, gets electrocuted.
Yeah, I was really tempted
just
to make the Raiden one of my favorite scenes, but then I was like, but then it's in Raiden.
Yeah.
Raiden doesn't need to win like that.
He does Kano does that training thing against Kung Lao. He's like, no Harry Potter shit. And then just gets sweeped 4 times in a row like it's an online match.
Mm-hmm.
that had to have been deliberate for that exact reason.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Cole's daughter yelling at him more than once, use your uppercut. This movie worked on a lot of levels.
Yes.
But now that we have decided on a unanimous victor for this Cursed Content Fight Club, does anybody have any final thoughts about it other than people should go watch it?
I expected to come out of this going, man, I spent $15 so I could watch that and just kind of feel sour on it. But it was like, no, that was good. That was worth it. Sure.
Yeah, and now you can watch the Snyder Cut as a bonus.
Thumbs up.
Mm,